This week on Weekly News Recap.
Kuna watu genuinely wanataka mabadiliko.
Kujeni na mkokoteni zenyu, kujeni na wheelbarrow.
From political shifts.
What is a popular government and what is a populist government?
The issue is governance and integrity.
To groundbreaking discoveries, uncovering the stories that shape our world.
Mambo haiko fiti.
Hii serikali haitupeleki vizuri hata kidogo.
Join us every Friday for a comprehensive look at the news that matters.
Hospitali imejaa kwa sababu services ziko.
News Recap, your essential source for informed perspectives.
Good afternoon, I'm Violet Tom and welcome to our 4 p.m. news recap on TAS TV. Today being 5th September 2024, and here are the top stories making headlines. On our top story today, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua delivered a powerful address during the launch of the Foreign Travel Information Management System. The event marks a pivotal moment in Kenya's effort to modernize and streamline its travel management process.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. The Deputy Chief of It gives me great pleasure. I want to thank the Office of the Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service for this invitation and the opportunity to jointly engage and reflect on a subject of passion and conviction to me personally, the subject of digital transformation. ICT has been universally recognized as an enabler of development in all spheres of human endeavor through facilitation of access to information to support decision-making and through efficient and effective processes. Indeed, technology is a strategic driver to not only improve efficiency, more so in the public sector, but also to make government more transparent, trustworthy, accountable, and open. The last point is critical, especially when one considers the turmoil we have experienced in the last few months, whose root cause can be traced down to loss of trust, lack of transparency, and poor accountability. One objective of the Kenya Kwanza administration's bottom-up economic transformation better plan is to enhance government service delivery through digitization and automation of all government critical processes and make available 80% of government services online. We meet here today to commission 2 such interventions on this journey and to celebrate the Office of the President for taking leadership to delivering this digital transformation. The Better Plan draws its inspiration from the Kenya Vision 2030 economic blueprint. The vision similarly recognizes the role of ICT in harnessing new knowledge for wealth creation, social welfare, and international competitiveness. This administration has therefore set forth ambitious objectives aimed at catalyzing transformation and inclusive growth, with the digital superhighway playing a critical role in enabling us to make tremendous achievement in delivery for the other 4 pillars of the plan, namely health, agriculture, MSMEs, and financing. Accordingly, the national government has in the 24-25 financial year allocated 16.3 billion Kenya shillings as investment in the digital superhighway to enable achievement of the identified objectives in the sector. Ladies and gentlemen, In our ongoing efforts to enhance governance and streamline public service delivery through digital transformation, the Office of the President has introduced 2 advanced digital platforms which we are officially commissioning today. Foreign travel is one of the big line items in our budget, which consumes a significant amount of financial resources. Whereas it remains important for building networks, learning, building partnerships, and allowing us to shift our mindset from thinking Kenya only to thinking globally, it must be done sustainably and devoid of abuse. The commissioning of the Foreign Travel Management Information System, FORTIMS, therefore, is not only exciting, but also truly necessary. It automates the travel clearance processes by enhancing the ease and efficiency of application, processing, and approval. The system will support the implementation of the government austerity measures, increase efficiency and transparency of the process, which all go to restore trust and accountability, 2 sides of the same coin that the Kenyan people demand of their government. I am aware that plans are at an advanced stage to cascade the Foreign Travel Information System, FORTIMS, to each MDA for use in undertaking internal approvals. I therefore encourage expedition for conclusion of this process to secure a holistic structure that will not only secure adherence with prevailing travel guidelines, but also facilitate government's ability to review overall foreign travel budgets and expenditures, analyze our global travel trends and priorities, and reorganize our foreign service footprints accordingly.
As we look ahead, our next story covers Deputy Chief of Staff Eliud Owalo delivering compelling remarks at the launch of the Foreign Travel Information Management System. This system is poised to revolutionize the way Kenyan manages and oversees foreign travel. During the launch, Deputy Chief of Staff Owalo spoke with great enthusiasm about the transformative impact of FORTIMS. He highlights significance in enhancing efficiency, security, and transparency in the management of international travel.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Cabinet Secretaries, present Principal Secretaries, ladies and gentlemen. This morning I'm holding brief for the Chief of Staff and Head of the Public Service, following my recent appointment as his Principal Deputy, responsible for the functional domain of performance and delivery management in government. It is a great honor, Your Excellency, to welcome you to the official launch of the Foreign Travel Information Management System, FORTIMS, and the Presidential Directives Management System, PDMIS. Information and communication technology has fundamentally transformed governance and public service, becoming an essential tool for enhancing transparency and improving operations in government. FORTIMS, which streamlines the process of foreign travel clearance, and the PDIMS, which manages and tracks presidential directives, are pivotal in advancing accountability. These systems, Your Excellency, will support more informed decision-making, efficient resource allocation, and effective monitoring, evaluation, and reporting. Your Excellency, the next step will be to cascade these systems to the lowest levels of the public service across various ministries, departments, and agencies. Transparency is essential for good governance, while ICT is crucial in this regard, in fact, imperative. There have been instances of senior officials traveling abroad without proper clearance approval, which violates the set values and principles of public service. With this system in place, Your Excellency, it will now be possible to have a history of all the travels which each and every officer in the public service has made at the press of a button. With the FORTIMS platform, we will now be able to track the number of trips, destinations, purposes, and associated costs, providing valuable insights into how these travels impact performance contracts. This will greatly, therefore, enhance the efficiency, transparency, and accountability of our travel processes. The integration of FORTIMS with other systems, Your Excellency, such as immigration and foreign affairs, will help address these issues and support disciplinary actions where and when deemed appropriate. Additionally, the manual process of transmitting, tracking, and storing presidential directives has been cumbersome and slow. The PDMIS will therefore streamline this process, making it more efficient and enabling quicker, more effective reporting and decision-making depending on unfolding events from time to time. By improving how we handle presidential directives, the PDMIS will provide crucial data to guide policy decisions and implementation.
Businessman and political activist Jimmy Wanjigi lost his temper during a public lecture directed at President William Ruto. The incident sparked widespread debate and discussion across the nation. During his address, Wanjigi was visibly agitated as he criticized President Ruto and his administration. His outburst came amid growing concerns over various national issues.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, we are at a very sad stage in the country's history. I'm going to read this statement and know that it has been compiled by all of us because we want to send a message directly to William Samoei Ruto. Directly to him. Crooked Ruto is responsible for the illegal abductions and killings. Today, we stand in solidarity and empathy with all the families here and those who did not make it to come for their sons and daughters who have been abducted and have disappeared. It is devastating for a family and friends when a loved one disappears. Yet this is a harsh reality facing Kenya today. I'm very touched by the plight that has been going on, and more so because Bob Njagi and the Longman twins came to visit me in Kamkunji after I was illegally arrested by the police, to some of us personally. Your pain is my pain. We are sounding the alarm. We are on the edge of an abyss and moving speedily in the wrong direction. We must wake up and collectively demand for truth, accountability, and justice. Many times it is said that if it happens to one, we keep quiet. It happens to another, we keep quiet. Eventually it will land in each of our doorsteps of so-called terror suspects. We've seen it over the years. But because there is a security team that tells us that it's for our benefit, we keep quiet. Today they have extended it to people who have been peacefully demonstrating in this country. Abductions is becoming a way of life. Extrajudicial killings a way of life. This is not the Kenya. Abductions, enforced disappearances, and extrajudicial killings in Kenya remain a state strategy to spread terror amongst us.
A 29-year-old junior secondary school teacher has been the victim of a brutal rape near Kirinyaga University. The victim, whose name is being withheld to protect her privacy, was found in a critical condition and has rushed to a nearby hospital to urge medical treatment. Authorities have launched
need protection in this area. It's dangerous. Look at it. Look, angalia vizuri, uone venye panaka. Ni pabaya sana. Hapa tunahitaji either waweke fence ama tukuje tuchome. Tutachoma. Sisi wenyewe ndio tutachoma. Tutachukua mafuta na tutaingia huku, tumwage na tuchome. Kwa hivyo either they fence kwa sababu huyo mtu aliona panyaruti. Hizi panyaruti ziko huku ni mingi sana, angalia uone, ziko mingi sana. Mtu anaweza chukuliwa na ingizwa kama venye aliingizwa, si aliingizwa hapo ndani. Kwa hivyo tunataka either hii management ya hii university hii wachome, ama wenyewe tutawachomea, ama wa fence, waeke fence. Ni venye hatuna uwezo saa hii, tungeweka saa hii. Waweke hiyo perimeter wall ya mawe ama ya sengenge ama hiyo kitu ingine, stima. Waeke yote, wa fence huku, otherwise hatutawapatia chance ingine, kwa sababu hatujui hata kama ni watoto wetu next. Hatujui. Huyo mtu ambaye amefanya hivyo, maybe hata anafikiria venye kama alifikiria kuchukua mwalimu. Imagine, ni kumaanisha alimuonea mbali. Akamuonea huko, akajua wewe maliza kupeleka mtoto shule. Tuko na wewe, maliza tu kupeleka huyo, fikisha yeye pale. Ukirudi na mimi tukutane. It's very bad. Even I'm sweating seriously. I'm vigorously sweating. Look at me. I'm really sweating. Imagine what about me? I'm even not safe. Nitakuwa napita aje hapa? Tutakuwa tunapita aje hapa? Imagine. It's very serious. Very serious. Very. We need security here. Kuna post hii iko hapa nyuma yetu hii. Ile mnaona pale, ile post ya polisi iko pale. Na haina mtu. Ilijengwa ya nini? Kwa nini serikali wanatuwestia pesa yetu hapa? Wananyima JSS malipo ya, wanawanyima mshahara, na hii imetumia mamilioni ya pesa na haina polisi hata mmoja. Ilijengwa ya nini? Tutaibomoa. Itabomolewa. Walimu wetu na watoto hawatakuwa naharibiwa hii barabara, na wazazi pia wakikuja kupeleka watoto. Na hapa kuna kampi ya polisi, hii imetumia pesa mingi na hakuna wa polisi hapa, hakuna polisi anakaa hapo. So it's very dangerous. We are very, very sorry for that, teacher. Tunapeana rambirambi zetu, pole sana, lakini tunaomba serikali ikuje hapa yote. Hata huyo Ruto, hebu akuje hapa. Hapa nimesimama. Akuje hapa aone. Huyo Ruto, abu akuje hapa aone. Ametembea sana na sijamuona ametembea Gitwe. Akuje Gitwe aone. Huyo Ruto, wewe unaona? Huyo Ruto, huyo mwambie akuje hapa aone. Atuambie kama hapa hata yeye anaweza pita miguu. Akuje aone.
Nilipata mwalimu wa JSS Gitwe Primary akiwa hapo kwa kichaka amejificha, akiwa uchi, akiwa na nguo. She was raped by an unknown man, so she asked me to give her some clothes to cover her nakedness. Then I gave her the clothes. Then after that, I called the head teacher and they went to report in the police station.
Turning now to President William Ruto engaging in a crucial bilateral talk with Chinese President at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing. The high-level meeting marks a significant moment in the strengthening of ties between the two nations. The discussion between President Ruto and President Xi are expected to cover a range of topics including trade, investment and infrastructure development.
Good morning.
Good morning, Your Excellency.
您好，上午好。
非常欢迎你。
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
非常感谢。
Thank you.
非常感谢您。Summit. To economic and social development in the region and bringing benefits to our two peoples. And transition.
The all-important forum that brings China and Africa together. It is also an important opportunity for Kenya-China Comprehensive Partnership Agreement, a strategic partnership that is based on a people-to-people engagement framed on programs that are mutually beneficial between our two countries and based on mutual respect and trust. Your Excellency, let me commend your leadership of the South-South cooperation that brings together many developing countries, and to specifically point out the relationship between Kenya and China. As you know, Your Excellency, I was here last year for the BRI summit. And I want to thank you for the conclusion of the program on Kenya's rural roads, the intelligence transport system that has now been concluded, and the progress that has been made on our technical vocational equipment program, Boster Dam, the Nairobi Northern Bypass, and the Muthaiga Kiambu bypass programs that have already, we've made very good progress, and hopefully we should be able to conclude.
And that story takes us to a short commercial break.
This week on Weekly News Recap.
Kuna watu genuinely wanataka mabadiliko. Kujeni na mkokoteni zenyu, kujeni na wheelbarrow.
From political shifts.
What is a popular government and what is a populist government?
The issue is governance and integrity.
To groundbreaking discoveries, uncovering the stories that shape our world.
Mambo haiko fiti. Hii serikali haitupeleki vizuri hata kidogo.
Join us every Friday for a comprehensive look at the news that matters.
Hospitali imejaa kwa sababu services ziko.
News Recap, your essential source for informed perspectives.
Welcome back to our news recap at 4. Moving on to our next story. Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has dismissed claims of an impending impeachment, asserting that his administration remains focused on delivering its promises to the people of Nairobi. Speaking at the opening of Adishi na County Kitchen in Umoja, Sakaja rubbished the rumors as baseless distractions.
Nimesikia watu wanaongea mambo mingi hata sijui nini mnaongea. Hata vijana wanashangaa ni nini hiyo. As always, hiyo vitisho tumezoea kwa muda mrefu. As we are focused on the work we are doing for the people of Nairobi. So please, our team in the executive, our team in the assembly, remain focused. What we have to do for Nairobians. Jana kulikuwa na documentary ya Sakaja at 2. If you look at what we've been able to achieve in 2 years, it is because of being focused and keeping your eyes on the ball. Keep your eyes on the prize. Mwache mambo ya side shows. Na porojo ni mingi. Saizi Raila na Rais Ruto wako China pamoja. Na juzi ilikuwa ati watu hawezi kuongea. Sio hiyo? Mimi vile niliwaambia nafanya kazi na pande zote, watu wanaleta vuguvugu. Hata nyinyi wengine mlininyorosha, lakini sasa ona mko wote kwanza hiyo roro. Mimi nikianza broad based, mlishika nare. But nilikuwa nimeona mbele that we must have to work broad based the whole of Kenya together. So mambo ya porojo msikuwe. Na propaganda ni mingi, nasikia ati sijui nimetolewa kwa ndege gani. Na nilikuwa na hii function hapa leo. So forget those things that you see, focus on work. Hawa wananchi ni wananchi watakatifu. Hawa watoto, they deserve your undivided attention. Wake up every day thinking about the people who you represent, the people who have given you an opportunity to serve. Watoto wenye walikuwa wanatembea mtaani siku za shule, siku hizi hutawapata kwa barabara, wameenda kwa mashule. That is securing the future of our country. There's no better way to secure the future of our country than investing in these children. Sangine labda watoto wetu umoja wako sawa. Kuna maeneo Nairobi watoto hata nyumbani hawana kitu. The only meal they are getting is in school. That is the only meal they are getting. Kimona amemwambia Watoto wa kwako walikuwa wanauliza mbona likizo ziishe haraka ili turudi shule.
Despite the confirmation of 4 cases of the mpox virus, it appears that majority of Kenyans are still not aware of the public health concern, even in Nakuru County, where contact tracing is underway after confirmation of Kenyans' 4th case. Many seem oblivious of its existence or even the risk they face as they go about everyday activities along the major transport route.
Bado sijashika kama kuna ugonjwa naitwa mpox hiyo kwa hii area yetu mahali tunaishi.
Na ningependa kusema kweli hizo maugonjwa za mnasema za inbox, hizo za monkey, hiyo mimi najua hiyo ni serikali inafanya hiyo maneno ya.
So if somebody has generalized fever, is having a headache, it could be typhoid, it could be something else, but at the health facility it's just for the person to be isolated, especially if he has been in contact with another person who has mpox, to be isolated, and then if he develops the symptoms, you can collect the swabs and be able to do PCR.
This particular strain of mpox is called the clade 1B, which is more transmissible, and it is also more serious in terms of the disease pattern. So it's important for us to be able to sequence and know specifically the genetic composition of the variant that we are dealing with.
There have been cases where it is been reported that is brought through sexual intercourse. It is by touch, like if you greet somebody, you can actually get mpox. If you share clothing with somebody who is infected with the virus, you probably will get infected. So as a country, one of the measures that we can put in place is to ensure that we have what we refer to as general hygiene. If you go to a place, you wash your hands. We avoid crowding in places. We also avoid greeting people or hugging people, as is normally the norm.
The Ministry of Health will work closely with the Council of Governors COG to avert the return of the street by doctors. The doctors have threatened to boycott works in the return to and work formula signed recently will not be honored and implemented. Speaking when she paid a courtesy to the Council of Governors Health Committee Chairman Shop, and Tharaka Nithi County Governor Health CS Dr. Dorubas said that ministry is seeking not to allow a return to any strike and would implement was agreed within the timelines agreed on.
After the finance bill was called off, there has been no communication to the doctors as to whether or not the resources are still available for that collective bargaining agreement and what was agreed upon as return to work. As the ministry, CS, this should be one of your biggest tasks and the first one as a priority to address that issue. If those doctors go back on the streets, that will be eggs, rotten eggs on the face of the head of state.
For the strike, we are prepared by saying that we are working on it, on the CBA, and especially on the resources. Upon discussion with my peers, I believe that there's a lot that is going on, and within the given time period, July to July, I believe that we'll be able to sort out that concern. What we had agreed with the CBA, we want to assure that the funds are there, but remember it was between July 2024 to now 2025, so we want to assure them that payment will be done within that period.
University of Nairobi students took the street to protest the new university funding model, which they urge is making higher education affordable for many. They submit a petition to the Principal Secretary for Higher Education, Dr. Beatrice Mnyangala, demanding a reduction in the funding bands from 5 to 3 or a return to the old funding model. They said that the new funding model has significantly increased the cost of university education, which they fear will prevent many deserving students from accessing higher education.
Previous town halls the president has had with the student leaders, we've told the president that this NFM model is not working. They're not responding. There's no any recommendation. There's no any amendment they're willing to provide. So we are out on streets. We want it to be scrapped off. We want the DUC model that we had before.
If they want to work with the NFM, watoe band 5 na band 4. To work na band 1, 2 and 3. Tunaona. Ndio pia kila moja access.
I've been receiving calls from comrades who want to defer school in their first years. And they are suffering because this is killing our dream.
Yes.
We're not going to do this anymore. We're tired.
Yeah.
We're on the streets and we'll be here fighting for comrades.
We are calling upon all student leaders from all fronts, from all universities, as commons from all universities, as comrades from the Premier University of Nairobi, which is the mother and the father of all other institutions in this country. We are saying on date 9, come out in large numbers. Let us be in these streets. Let us make every road unpassable peacefully. Let us make all the roads unpassable peacefully. Comrades Ria. Comrades Atu. Comrades Atu.
Still on education matters, the Kenya Post-Primary Education Teachers Union, that is KUPPET, has called off its week-long teachers' strike that has paralyzed learning in high school. The Union Secretary General, alongside the CEO of Teachers Service Commission, announced the end of the strike after a day-long meeting. The union called for the strike to demand for, among other things, the implementation of the second phase of the CBA restoration of the medical cover and employment of JSS teachers.
If they were genuine enough, our national officials, they would have informed us early enough that today there will be a meeting that will be done between the union and the Teacher Service Commission, so that we inform our teachers early in the morning that there is a meeting and we expect something to be coming out of that meeting.
We only heard from the media, from the social media, that the strike has been suspended, and as KUPPET Nyeri branch, we categorically ask our national executive board to facilitate the reforms in the constitution so that we can accommodate some things, because we noted like there is a hitch in our constitution whereby the SG alone can suspend the strike without involving the National Governing Council.
In compliance with the court order which was instituted and which is coming up on 5th, that is Thursday, from the union side, we suspend the strike and ask all our teachers to go back to class pending the speedy resolutions of these matters as already agreed upon between us and the...
That wraps up our today's news recap at 4 p.m. Until then, stay safe and take care.
This week on Weekly News Recap.
Kuna watu genuinely wanataka mabadiliko. Kujeni na mkokoteni zenyu, kujeni na wheelbarrow.
From political shifts.
What is a popular government and what is a populist government?
The issue is governance and integrity.
To groundbreaking discoveries, uncovering the stories that shape our world.
Mambo haiko fiti. Hii serikali haitupeleki vizuri hata kidogo.
Join us every Friday for a comprehensive look at the news that matters.
Hospitali imejaa kwa sababu services ziko.
News Recap, your essential source for informed perspectives.